some other stories that we are tracking is where citizens are coming down heavily on the Karnataka government over its recent order of banning carpooling in Bengaluru. Residents are condemning the decision, especially in a city which is home to regular traffic jams. It was just last week that the Silicon Valley of India witnessed unprecedented traffic gridlock where people could not move and could only perhaps barely make it to 2 to 3 kilometers in several hours. Several students also reached home late at night from schools, and the Bengaluru Transport Department has also announced a fine of up to 10,000 and a violation may also invite suspension of vehicles' registration certificate. This decision comes in response to the alleged complaints from the taxi drivers who argue that these platforms are impacting their livelihoods. The authorities allege that carpooling apps are violating rules by aggregating private cars that cannot be used for commercial purposes. However, carpooling has become a popular and eco-friendly solution for decongesting the city's traffic by allowing commuters with similar routes to share rides in private vehicles. BJP MP Tejasvi Surya has also written to the Chief Minister Siddharamaiah urging upon him to reconsider the ban on carpooling. He has requested the Chief Minister to amend the Karnataka Motor Vehicles Rule 1989, saying that it is outdated and insufficient to meet the needs of present day.
The Karnataka government has taken a decision to ban the use of carpooling or based on demand by the Auto Rickshaw Driver Association. Let's take a quick view from the Bengalurans and see what they have to say about it. Sir, you have used carpooling, and what do you think, especially the decision of the government to not use ban carpooling?
I don't think banning carpooling is the way to go. We already know the kind of traffic jams that happen in Bangalore. We are famous for it. Carpooling is one solution that actually helps reduce the traffic congestion. The government should support it. I think they should find a way to make it more safe instead of banning it completely. I don't understand the reason why they are banning carpooling at all.
From women's perspective, I think what he said, if we can make quick ride safer, because sometimes auto feels safer than going in a car. But that's the only thing. Otherwise, it should.
And our call-in lines are open and numbers are flashing on your screens right now. And we have Mr. KV Gupta calling us in from Bengaluru. Mr. Gupta, good afternoon. Thank you for taking your time and calling us here at Mirror. Now, please go ahead and share your views. Well, clearly the commuters of Bengaluru have been heavily impacted by this government's new diktat, especially at a time when the city has been complaining of peak traffic leading to congestion for over hours on end, where even the school students returned home late evening. But that is exactly what we're discussing over here. That is this irrational move on the part of the Karnataka government? Did they think through the convenience of the people at large who have been taking the carpools for similar routes all across Bengaluru? And this sort of a diktat where even a fine of 10,000 rupees has been imposed upon is going to impact the people at large. Well, our call-in lines are open right now and our numbers are flashing on your screen. Do call us in and share with us what do you feel about this new move by the Karnataka government. In the meanwhile, I'm joined by my guest this afternoon. I'm joined by Mr. Shekhar Vijayan, who is an artist joining us right now from Bengaluru. Mr. Vijayan, good afternoon and thank you for taking your time and joining us here at Mirror Now. At the very outset, what was your first reaction when you came to know about the Karnataka government deciding to bring a clampdown of sorts and banning the carpooling services and even go to the extent of extending a fine of 10,000 rupees? What do you have to say about it?
Thank you. Thank you for having me over. As we talk, I'm on the roads. And I can tell you this is a crazy, crazy decision because, see, we have seen in the past 2 weeks how Bangalore has been trending on the internet for all the wrong reasons, especially the traffic in Bangalore. And I think carpool is something which works around the world, not just in India. It works in all the developed countries in the world because that's one way by which traffic can be eased out, the congestion can be taken care of. Also with rising fuel cost, it's also a good way for people to just get in together and work together. So I think somewhere that like the Vehicles Act needs to be appended. There needs to be, the government needs to be more collaborative in such decisions because this will affect Bangalore as a whole. You know, this is not an easy step to take. This is not an easy decision to take. The government should be a little more proactive think of other ways and means of taking care of such issues. Because as we know, I think carpooling is the best way to ease traffic congestion, pollution, and everything around it. Like, we have seen that this has worked in
Absolutely,
all
Mr.
parts of the
Vijayan.
world. And I
Hold
don't
that thought.
understand
I've
why.
also got another caller calling us in from Bengaluru. And after that, I'll come back to you, Mr. Vijayan. I'm joined by Miss Rosa calling us in from Bengaluru. Miss Rosa, good afternoon. Please go ahead and share your views.
I'm a medical scientist from Bangalore. And we feel as a woman, to travel in the taxi alone is quite risky these days. They drive really rash and they drop you in any isolated place. They can just deny you that, I cannot go further. They don't listen to the woman who travels alone. And I request that, they shouldn't be banning this carpooling because I think it's everywhere in Europe and US and everywhere. And we feel more safer when you have another more than 2 to 3 people. And there is 24 hours you can travel. You don't have a banning time that, after 10 you don't feel safe in the cab. So there are a lot of incidents in Bangalore, even on the airport road, where women are getting taken to isolated place and molested. So I think carpooling is a great idea.
All right, absolutely, Ms. Rosa. You put your thoughts across very clearly over there, saying that sometimes it's better to have 2 to 3 people in the same car as you feel safe about it. And it's a global solution to try and mitigate the crisis of congestion that is being witnessed, especially in Silicon Valley city of Bengaluru in India. I'm also joined by Mr. KV Gupta right now, who had connected with us earlier. Mr. Gupta, good afternoon. Please go ahead and share your views.
Ma'am, I have 2 inputs to give. One as a citizen of Bangalore. As a citizen of Bangalore, I think it's an illogical and irrational decision. I think it is taken more out of political considerations for vote banks, elections, etc. And as a consumer, I believe that this is a restrictive trade practice. I am being denied my right to choose. I can choose whether I want to go by bus or by auto or by taxi, etc. And saying that I cannot go in a carpooling
Yes, Mr. Gupta,
cab,
please go ahead.
Is denial of my fundamental right to choose. And this, I think, the government should look into very much. And I think if somebody is interested, they can file a PIL in Supreme Court saying, how can you deny a consumer a right to choose the method of transportation? These are my 2 inputs.
Okay, it's your right to decide whether at all you want to avail the service of carpooling or would you want to travel alone. That is going to be the right of the commuter at large, the passenger at large is what you are mentioning over here. Thank you so much, Mr. KV Gupta, for taking our time and calling us over here. My guest continues to be with us right now. Mr. Vijayan, you just hear what Rosa and KV Thomas, both of them residents of Bengaluru, both of them would be the ones frequenting the roads of Bengaluru on a daily basis, and they feel that their primary right as a citizen to decide whether they want to take a carpooling, a sharing cab or not, that is being denied by this diktat of the Karnataka government. What do you have to say about it? Because now the transport minister turns around and says that no, they have not banned the app or the carpooling services. They have called for a meeting of the aggregator apps tomorrow and they would need a permit to operate. Do you agree with it?
They took a very rash decision now because the citizens have all come out as one. They don't know what to say, and this is a typical political statement they make, saying that they need more time to reconsider the decision. I think it's a crazy idea because carpooling does not just help in easing traffic congestion. It's also a good place to network. And like you had one of your women callers say, I think they feel very unsafe when they're traveling with a single taxi driver. So I think goes without saying, carpooling has got so many more benefits than disadvantages in terms of traffic congestion, easing traffic congestion, rising fuel costs we have in the city, in India, as well as in Bangalore, and the fact that you want to get from point A to point B as quickly as possible. I think carpooling has a great advantage there. Looking at the kind of traffic we have, looking at the vehicular population which has increased in India, especially 2-wheelers and 4-wheelers, and it's a great place for people to network too. For people who've got office spaces very close to each other, I think that's a great way for communities to actually work together. So I think the government should actually encourage this and think of ways and means of making it more streamlined. using
Well,
technology and
absolutely.
getting more.
Mr. Vijayan, we agree with you that the government should have a larger perspective at this entire matter to see that the benefits that carpooling may be bringing about to the commuters of Bengaluru. I will come back to you. I'm joined by two other callers right now. Call-in lines are flashing on your screens. Do call us in and tell us what do you feel about the government of Karnataka deciding to bring about a ban on carpooling. Vinod from Bengaluru is calling us right now. Mr. Vinod, good afternoon. Please go ahead and share your views.
Hi, good afternoon, Samya. Yes, this is regarding this thing. I think the RTOs have to, look at the registration per vehicle per residence. Now, there is a major issue with the RTOs being registered. There's a lot of private vehicles being registered, and this has to be stopped where there's a lot of vehicles on the road. And second is the number of parking lots. There's multi-level parking lots for people who are doing desk jobs. Now they can take public transport. Why don't they take? They all talk about sustainability, but nobody, gets into a bus or, for that matter, any public transport. We have metro work which is nearly completed, and in the next, I think, few days, I think even by finally the major corridor to the IT would be ready. I think public transport is one thing, and that has to be really confirmed, and also people to take up the public transport, as well as the the sort of parking that is there in all this IT thing. Where there is about 16.5 lakh employees in this ORR, and there is about 7.5 lakh vehicles on the road every day. Now the problem is, everybody comes in their vehicle and they are coming from A to B. That is from their home to the office. I don't know if they are not in a marketing or a sales job. I think they should leave their vehicles behind.
But Mr. Vinod, are you in favor of carpooling? Do you think that they should continue to try and ease the traffic issue in Bengaluru, or do you think that the other option of using public transport should be encouraged?
Transport. Carpooling again would bring in, yes. Yes, because, I think it is the other option that is very important, because even if you say carpooling and everybody comes out with their cars, we would be in the same trouble. As I mentioned, there is about 16.5 lakh employees between Hebbal and Silkboard Junction, the outer ring road. And if everybody brings in their vehicles, there's about 7.5 lakh vehicles that is coming on the road every day. I think there should be a major push to public transport, and I think corporates should encourage their employees to take up public transport and incentivize them to take up public transport, like giving them free passes or giving them, incentivizing them, and whoever takes public transport should be incentivized.
Well, that is an interesting aspect that you have raised, Mr. Vinod. Thank you so much for taking our time and calling us over here. I'm also joined by Ms. Vibha calling us in from Bengaluru. Ms. Vibha, good afternoon. Thank you for calling us. Please go ahead and share your views.
Actually, I am basically from North Bangalore, and I don't see, this much of traffic in North Bangalore except in the Hebbal Junction. So we have, some apps like Quick Ride, where when we try to, it's just like a carpooling app. But again, the app doesn't work properly, and we need to travel to certain place to board the vehicle. So what Mr. Vinod said just now is perfectly right. We have lot of, Volvo buses, and we also have metro from four parts of Bangalore, north, east, south, west. So people can easily, travel by these metro and the buses. The city bus service is also very good. If each person wants to travel in his own car to the office, so we cannot blame the government too, right? It should be from both the ways. That is what I feel.
Absolutely, Ms. Vibha. Thank you so much for sharing your views on the subject that we had been discussing here. I'm also got by another caller right now. We've got Mr. M. Kumar calling us in from Bengaluru. Mr. Kumar, please go ahead and share your views. Thank you so much for calling us here.
See, Bangalore has world-famous problems. Bangalore has world-famous problems. Now, traffic is notoriously globally known. Now, what is wrong if people do the carpool? Who is getting ailed by what? Why can't they have some sensibility? First of all, the city has very bad public transportation infrastructure, the worst in any metro in India. So why can't policies be made which are public friendly, citizen friendly, instead of taking care of just one section of a society, somebody who protests something just to cater to their needs. And nothing has been done
Fair
by
enough.
the city.
Mr. Kumar, you make a pertinent point over there.
Nothing has been made in terms of easing the traffic. Nothing is being seriously made. There is a coordination needed by planners, politicians, police, and the public. None of that is, taking care of several decades. And it has the highest number of speed breakers in the world, not just India. Every 50 to 500 feet, there'll be a speed breaker.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Kumar, for calling us here and telling us that perhaps the policies that the Karnataka government should enact should be in accordance as far as making the city and the public transport citizen-friendly. I'm also joined by Amara Kavi, calling us in from Bengaluru. Good afternoon. Please go ahead and share your views.
Yeah, this carpooling, which is beneficial for the public, is not beneficial for politicians, because politician is the owner of cabs and autos. So it won't be a beneficial for them. That's why they will make all these dirty rules and all. And one more thing is either pay the fine of hefty amount, otherwise give bribe. Either bribe or pay penalty. That is the mode of operation of this politician and police. That way they are cheating the public. That's why I want to tell you.
Absolutely, Mr. Amrakabi, thank you for taking our time and joining us here at Mirror Now. Call-in lines are flashing on your screens right now. Do call us in and share what you feel about the new diktat that has been brought about by Karnataka government. My guest still continues to be with us. Mr. Vijayan, you did hear that series of reaction that we have been getting from our callers. One of them definitely believes very strongly, Mr. Vinod, that the public transport should be encouraged in some way. It should be incentivized. That is also something that Vibha had also second that entire thought of Vinod. But you know what is interesting is when people do realize the fact that there are a handful of people who can gain by trying to ban carpooling, and there's going to be a large population of Bengaluru residents who are going to be impacted by it, that the policies should be in accordance and in the interest of citizens' convenience. Do you think that the state government did not really think it through when they decided to ban it, and they should bring about an alternative before they try to ban it?
I think it is a very sporadic decision. They never thought this through. I think in such decisions which affect the majority of Bangaloreans, they have to think this through completely, which could involve a consultation with the intellectual capital of with the intellectual engineers or the intellectual engineers of Bangalore, for example. And I think more than anything else, I think the government has to also see this through completely. If I heard all the citizens speak, and we're all speaking in one voice. People are very angry, very frustrated about this entire situation. Every second day there are traffic jams. Every second day there's a congestion happening. There were potholes earlier. Now there are no potholes. Now there are still potholes which exist on the road. Now that's something which I think
Mr.
your channel has been
right
taking
now,
up
as you speak, are you still stuck in a traffic jam in Bengaluru?
No, I'm not stuck in a traffic jam. I'm actually outside Bangalore, where the roads are much better. But I can tell you this, I totally empathize, because in Bangalore, because of the traffic jams, you get to meet more people. But I think carpooling as an initiative is very good. I also saw a graphic which you had put up, which your team has put up about carpooling, which has been done in different parts of the world, which just goes to show that all the developed countries of the world have used carpooling. Now, what's important in a place like India is we have to balance it out. We have to use public infrastructure. Company aspect to commercial aspect to it, but then you have to also ensure that everybody enjoys the ride in the long run.
We'll try and fix that. In the meanwhile, I'm also joined by another caller calling us in from Bengaluru. Mr. B.N. Sampath is calling us. Mr. Sampath, good afternoon. Please go ahead and share your views.
Very good afternoon. It is I fail to understand the logic of banning I fail to understand the logic of this, of the government trying to ban and make it illegal about this car sharing, as much as when they are not able to provide a proper infrastructure. Today in Bangalore, the roads are extremely bad. Roads are highly congested. The number of accidents are more in Bangalore. And I don't know why the government is taking such a foolish steps.
Absolutely. Mr. Sampath, thank you so much for calling us in over here. I'm also joined by Mr. Vikram Singh, calling us in from Noida. Mr. Singh, good afternoon. Please go ahead and share your views.
Good afternoon. I've traveled to Bengaluru very frequently and I go there regularly. This is an international best practice to pool in cars. And to put it, I'd first like to understand what is the legal sanction behind banning carpooling. Because it is convenient to everyone, a win-win situation for everyone. And to ban it, I would rather that if somebody goes for a PIL, well, those who heard this, some grotesque absurdity will have eggs on their face. I'm giving ideas because sooner than later, somebody will question and a grotesque form of appeasement, nothing more than that. I would say that please withdraw your orders. It is a very unpeople-friendly administrative order that you have given just by way of playing to the gallery. Unacceptable. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Vikram Singh, for taking our time and calling us in over here. I'm also joined by Ms. Disha, calling us from Bengaluru. Ms. Disha, good afternoon. Please go ahead and share your views on what do you feel about the new diktat of banning carpooling by the Karnataka government.
Yeah, hello. Actually, I stay in Bangalore. My husband used to take the carpooling app, and he used to travel. If he would take the normal taxi, he would have to pay around 400 rupees. With the carpooling apps, he had to pay 100 rupees. So he saved on that. So that was beneficial. On top of that, when you're asking people to take the public transport, for example, bus. Now, buses are giving free rides to women. Then they have to, they have to pay the bus fare and they have to stand. Do you think it is feasible? Especially in the peak office hours, after coming back from work, you think it's possible for for men to be in the bus, stand in the bus, in the crowded bus, and also pay for it? So I feel, carpooling apps have got.
Okay, fair enough.
There should be a moderate view on this. We cannot go to extreme. Just because a few people have protested doesn't mean that we have to ban all carpooling apps. Government can always take a moderate view.
Absolutely, and we can only hope that tomorrow when the Transport Minister is going to be conducting that particular meeting with the aggregator app service providers, there's going to be some rationale behind ensuring that the carpooling services aren't banned entirely. Perhaps they can have a moderate view like you were mentioning, Ms. Disha. Thank you so much for taking your time and calling us here at Mirror Now.